welcome to the show.
Hi, Rabbi Dov.
Nigel, good to see you. Oh, I saw you for a second there.
Yeah, I haven't seen you for maybe about 12 months.
It's been a while, It's been a while. So good to see you. Wonderful. Hey, Dave, it's so lovely to have you. David Chernick as well. What an absolute simcha to see you. Look at this.
Wonderful to see you.
Well, are you on a beach or a park or in the Indian Ocean, Rabbi Dov?
Yeah, I'm actually live in an orchard. I've got a special secret orchard that I come to here in Sfat, Yerushalayim, England. I like to escape to from time to time. It's my little kind of place that I make a chance to come to. Here we go. Well, as people come, we can start playing.
Is it just music?
Singing, Stephen.
Okay, maybe I'm just. Okay, fine.
Everyone, as you come in, if you can, just mute yourselves as you come in. That'd be absolutely wonderful. You can just mute yourself.
Wow.
Oh, 23. That's not bad.
Can't hear him.
Rabbi Dov, you're muted.
I forgot to tell you, do we know anyone called Eitan?
Why is it not muted?
Yes, sorry, mine was Eitan. It's actually Eleanor.
As you come on, just mute yourselves as you come on. It's going to be interactive as much as possible as I go through the night, but if you can, once you hit, you can just mute yourselves. So good to see people from all over the world.
Dov, you're a little bit quiet. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, the internet connection's a bit bad.
The internet connection here?
Yeah, because you keep breaking up. I think on this, is it your end or?
It could be my end or your end. Is everyone, how's the internet connection for you guys, wherever you are?
Rabbi, you've got no sound. It's really quiet. No, not working.
It's still not good, the sound?
No.
Okay, listen, this technical difficulties happens to everyone. We can do it. We can do it. Tell me if it's... Is that better, everyone? Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
See? We have
perfect.
We invested in microphones that don't even work. Look at that. Okay, let's keep going. So as you come on, just mute yourselves. I thought we'd start with a little nigun. One that you will know. It's very much linked to Tu B'Shvat as people start coming into the room. Jewish meantime. So nice to see people arriving literally from around the world. Uriel, all the way in Argentina, Buenos Aires, to South Africa. We've got Stephen Moss all the way in the Somerset countryside. Stephen, so great to have you. Wow, give us a wave, Stephen. So fantastic to have this. You've even got Stofie under the water somewhere in a aquarium. That makes me even more. Okay, this is very beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Tonight is something that I was very keen to try and do, which was a Tu B'Shvat Seder online. Now, you're going to have to, I need your help tonight. I'm going to need your help tonight because a Tu B'Shvat Seder is in essence meant to be celebrated in person. It's meant to be celebrated with everyone together. We can taste the fruits together. We can share ideas together. We can share our thoughts and feelings together. But of course, the reality is we're going to make it even better than last year. We're going to make it even better than previous years by joining together throughout the world, online, on Zoom, all of us together, Kulam Biyachad, tonight for this very, 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 very special Tu B'Shvat Seder. Now, let's kick off. I know some of you managed to get hold of our boxes, our very special Tu B'Shvat box. If you didn't get hold of one, don't stress out. If you've got any fruits in your house, anything around that you can use, any fruits for tonight, that's also going to be cool. We're going to go on an adventure. We're going to go on an adventure. We're going on a journey tonight. Now, David Chernick has got so excited for that journey. He's put his Game of Thrones throw on. He's going off to conquer some nations somewhere. And we're with you, Dave. We're in the trenches behind you. We're going to follow you. But we're going on a journey tonight. And we're going on a journey through different worlds. We're going on a journey not just into outer space, we're also going to journey into inner space. You're going to an internal journey. And if you stick with me for the next hour, it takes a little heart, a little mind, but I really think we can do this together. You know, a famous rabbi once said that the mind is like a parachute. A mind is like a parachute. It works best when it's open. So we can just like open our minds, open our hearts, open our souls, all of us together. And we got, oh, how wonderful. We got the Charles is joining from Bournemouth as well. Check it out. From Elstree, sorry, nice to see you guys. It says Rosie. I know it's not Rosie, but I know it's you. And Noemi from Battersea. And James Craig is even here. Andrew Cohen is keeping up the Edgeware crew. And of course, the day after Australia Day, Stephen Weinreb is making sure that he brings himself to the party. Okay, Chevra, I'm going to try my hardest to make this interactive. That's going to involve me asking questions. I'm going to sometimes ask people to read things. So bear with me as we go along. If you can keep yourselves on mute as much as possible, that would be fantastic. It would be really appreciated. And as I said, we're going to jump in with the first question, which is, what is this all about? We know some of these kind of rabbis are a bit nuts, a bit crazy. But to be honest with you, where does it come from that we're sitting and trying to celebrate Tu B'Shvat? When I was a kid, Tu B'Shvat was a day that we collected stamps for the JNF and we planted trees in Israel. Maybe you had a bit of fruit, maybe a banana, bit of tangerine. And that was basically the Tu B'Shvat experience. So what are we doing now? Why are we getting together to celebrate Tu B'Shvat? So first thing I have to say is we're calling this a Tu B'Shvat Seder. Now, just to give you a little heads up, one of the things that everyone knows about a Seder is, right, you're really hungry and you want to eat already and they're droning on and talking. Can they just stop the talking? Can we get to the food, please? So that's traditional for a Seder. So please just bear with me because we're going to have to do a little bit of talking at the beginning. We're going to have to speak a little bit at first. I want to explain certain things till we open up the boxes and delve in. I want to give you the most complete experience that I can. And that will involve me explaining and going through it together. So that's why it's like a Seder. I mean, someone made a comment to me, like, Rabbi Dov, we've had enough of the Seders, enough, like, you know, times where I can have a stained tablecloth and like spilt wine everywhere. Enough, twice a year is enough. Okay, we can do it again for Tu B'Shvat. Okay, so here we go. What actually is Tu B'Shvat? What is Tu B'Shvat? Why are we celebrating? What are we celebrating on Tu B'Shvat? So who wants to be brave enough to like kind of just jump in there and tell me what again, you can unmute yourself, then mute yourself again. I just quick small mention to a very special person on the line now. It's none other than Miss Anne Elliott, my music teacher from school. She was the first one that saw me play guitar and said, she's looked at me playing guitar and said to me, don't give up your day job. No, but And Elliot, welcome to the show, live from Jerusalem, stroke Liverpool. Great to have you here. So question, what is Tu B'Shvat? Why do we celebrate Tu B'Shvat? Let's go. Who's got the answer for me?
It's
trees.
Yeah, go for it. Come on.
For the trees.
Right, it's Rosh Hashanah of the trees. Now, what does that mean? If you take a look, you should have your source material with you, your source sheets there with you right now. So you're saying it's the New Year for the trees. We know this from the source in the Mishnah. The Mishnah, of course, is the oral Torah written down around the year 100 of the Common Era. Now, in the Mishnah, which is in Rosh Hashanah, it's the tractate called Rosh Hashanah, it tells us there are 4 New Years. There are 4 New Years throughout the year. There's Rosh Hashanah, we all know, which is when we get to hear the shofar, toot, 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 etc. But there's also this new year called Rosh Hashanah Le'ilan. It's the new year for the tree. Interestingly enough, by the way, we'll come back to this a little bit later. We call it the new year for the tree, not the new year for the trees. We call it the new year for the tree. More about that a little bit later. Hold with me. We're going to come back to that a little bit later. But it's the new year of the trees. What does that mean, though? Is it a birthday party for the trees? We'll go out to like steam and rye and drink a l'chaim for the tree. What is going on? Why are we celebrating the birthday, the new year of the trees? So the answer is that it's actually the new year where we start to calculate the tax year, so to speak. It's the tax year of the tree. Every part of the Jewish experience when we lived in Israel, and partly nowadays as well, was that certain amounts of your produce had to be given to either the Kohanim or to the temple. Certain elements of your tree, the first fruits, a percentage of your fruits had to go away. So it's almost like a tax that one had to pay every year, like a holy tax, a holy tax that someone was paying. So it's quite fascinating if you think about it. We're getting here to celebrate the tax year. Now, I know there are a few accountants here live on the show. If you're an accountant, give us a wave if you're an accountant. Told you, there's quite a few, including Dad. Dad, great to have you here, by the way. You're looking great. Absolutely wonderful, Dad. You can unmute, because you're my dad, you can unmute yourself, Dad. You can mute yourself and say hi. So everyone see who you are.
I was going to say, of course, I don't do text anymore. However,
okay.
I understand. Anyway, best of luck, Alex.
Thank you so much, Dad. Thanks. Wonderful. Right. So yeah, it's tax year. So why are we celebrating a tax year? Why are we getting together to celebrate a tax year of the tree? Now, the secret to this is in the next source that I brought you in the source sheet, which is it's a verse in the Torah, in the book of Deuteronomy, in the book of Devarim, where it says, Ki Adam etz hasadeh, which means for the existence of man is the tree of the field. Now, some people look at that saying, actually, it's a rhetorical question. It's asking, is man like a tree of the field? But none other than the great Spanish commentator, the Ibn Ezra, he says that no, it's not talking rhetorically. It's stating a fact. He's saying that when you go to war against another nation and you're laying siege to them, you cannot cut down any fruit trees that belong to the area. You can't destroy the environment by cutting down the fruit trees. Why? Because man's life depends on fruit trees. That's what the Ibn Ezra says. That our life depends on the fruits on the trees of the field, especially fruit trees. So we are intrinsically linked to the concept, the image of a tree. Now, I'm sure each and every single one of you in your own way has probably thought this before, has imagined in what way are we linked to trees? Are we like trees? I'm sure if I asked every single one of you to like kind of unmute, you'd be uncomfortable for a little while, and then you would eventually say something. But along the lines of, you know, how we also have roots. We have roots in our past. We have roots in the collective roots of our people, the individual roots of our families. So we have strong roots. At the same time, as we go through life, we like to build branches and hopefully have fruits, which is our children and our students and our friends, which is the branches and the fruits and the trees. So we're intrinsically linked to the tree. But the truth is, we can go a bit deeper than that, and we can learn out so many wonderful life ideas from trees, and we're going to do that tonight. That's what we're going to hopefully do tonight. We're going to eat from the fruits, and we're also going to learn from the fruits. We're going to go on this incredible adventure of learning more and more about the fruits. We're going to learn about the Arizal in Sfat in the 1500s, who taught, and his students who taught about this idea of having a Tu B'Shvat Seder, which is what we're having right now, getting together and having 4 cups of wine and celebrating 4 different stages of creation. that is to come very soon. But I'm looking at your faces and I'm seeing ravenous faces, and those faces saying to me, Rabbi Dov, this is fantastic, but I've got a muffin here and it's calling my name. So can you get on with the show? Because I want to eat and I want to drink as well. So let's go. So let's move on. And Noam, I'm not sure what you mean. If you ask me to get you in, I don't know. But I don't know. You're in? You're okay?
No, it's a mistake. It was a personal. Sorry.
Ah non, ça va très bien. On est toujours en train d'écrire, mais j'espère qu'on va faire la concentration sur le classe. Ouais? Très bien, merci.
Oui.
Okay, that's the old French there. Sometimes I use. Okay, so let's move on. One other thing I want to say as well before we start is one of the main themes of Tu B'Shvat is going to be gratitude. Is gratitude. You know, if you think about it, Stofi, I know Stofi, Steve and Sophie, you can open the box now if you really want to. I know you got, your trigger finger, you're ready to open the boxes, guys. You can do that. But while opening the boxes, I want to say the following, which is tonight's Tu B'Shvat is an amazing time to think about gratitude. Think about thanking Hashem. You know, we could have had a world which is monochrome, one taste, gruel. It could have been a gray world, but instead we have a world which is full of flavor and full of color. We're going to talk about that. Now, I have a question, but I asked the question before, but everyone shouted at the same time. So I'm going to ask you all to put hands up if you have the answer, okay? So here's the question, right? If you were going to celebrate this birthday of the trees, celebration day of the trees, right? When would really ideally be the best time to celebrate that? When actually is the best, most logical time to celebrate how trees are the most wonderful things in the world? Why? When was it? Okay, the Sheldon's
Spring.
Hands are up first. Let's go with Sheldon. Yes, Ari Sheldon.
Spring.
Why in the springtime? Why is that?
Because the fruit has grown, then blossom.
Right, because you've already got the spring and the blossom. It's already starting to come in fruition. Very nice. That's good. Stofi, what's your answer, Stofi? Yeah, Stofi. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, got it. I would say autumn, like Harvest Festival time.
Yeah, but I'd say spring. We're disagreeing.
Okay. Well, why Harvest Festival time, Stofi? Why Harvest Festival?
Apples are full. It's like end of the summer. All the fruit is ripe.
Okay, nice answer. Okay, that's nice.
Ready to go into winter, so it's sort of into hibernation.
It's the end of the whole summer season.
I would also say the same thing. I would also say the same thing. I agree with that.
Autumn, very nice. Anybody else wanted to kind of give, like Justin? Yeah, Justin, go for it.
And the trees start to blossom.
Okay, because again, why is that? Because we're starting to see
it's when the actual life comes from the tree and begins to produce fruit.
Okay, Emily and Sam. Sam's got his hand up. Go for it, Sam.
It should be when the fruit trees start to fruit, because there's already laws to do with when it's like the fourth year of a tree producing fruit, and you've got to give some to the garden. So there's already laws that are rated to that cycle.
Okay, right. So that's it. Already, like, we're seeing the potential already coming out. And finally, just for the moment, David Chernick, very patient with his hand up. Yeah, Reb David.
I was going to guess spring, but my second guess would be winter.
Ooh, okay, go on.
Because like new moon and full moon, new year and full year, new year. Points for effort.
Yeah, definitely points for effort. Just trying to work out the answer gets us where we want to. But I'm just trying to get a new moon, full moon. We'll get there in a second. Can I chew on that, David, a little bit? In the meantime, we're going to go to Stephen Moss on line 3. He's a long-time listener, first-time caller. Welcome to the show, Stephen Moss.
Hello, everyone. I think winter's a good time because the trees have survived the winter. They're surviving the winter and they're full of potential. And they've been asleep, but they're still very much alive. And they draw on their deepness and they're just ready to kind of bring growth into the world.
Okay, so it's like Stephen's saying, it's like kind of the latent potential. It's ready to go. And it's not there yet, but it's ready to get going. David, you're going again. David going again. Yeah, David.
Okay,
David.
Still winter, but I've noticed on my fruit trees in my garden, the buds have already started to come.
Oh,
spring is when the buds burst open into.
Is it the buds of any particular tree?
So far, I've got buds on my apples and on my cherries. Oh, and yeah, and also the bulbs. The bulbs.
Okay, that's the way to do it. Okay, fine. So,
but Dov also, sorry, Dov, can I just say, hello?
Yeah, with you, yeah.
Yeah, Dov, it's also that some seeds for fruit, you could plant them. Some of them you can plant them all year round. Some of them you can plant them certain times of the year. So it's not just in the spring, because some of them can grow the whole year, indoors, outdoors. So it just varies. There's such a variety.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that. So here we go. I'm going to give you the answer now. I think you were all close. That's me being a nice teacher. I learned that from Anne Elliott. But the truth is Stephen Moss, and I think, and who else said winter? I think it was David said winter, but for a reason which I'm still getting my head around. I'm still to understand. But here we go. Take a look outside if you want. Not now. You're probably indoors. If you do that tomorrow, the trees are essentially still bare. You may have one or two trees with a little bit of budding, a little bit of blossoming coming through, but most trees are dead now. They're dead, right? There's nothing happening. It's empty. It's still like a vast vacuum when you look at that tree. The answer is, it's not true. Because we know that at this stage of the year, the rains have fallen, and inside the tree, the sap is starting to rise. The water has gone into the roots, and now the water is now rising up the tree. The sap is rising up the tree. That means the new life, the fruits that are going to come and blossom and come to their full fruition in the middle of summer are right now rising up that tree. With a naked eye, you can't see it. If you're very sensitive, you can hear it. If you're very sensitive, you can look through the exterior of that trunk and know that inside, life has started again. Inside, life is coming. You know, the star sign for this month of Shvat is the Deli. Deli is a bucket. And the idea of the bucket is it goes down and you draw the bucket up from the well. Now is a time where the water is being drawn up. You get half a point, David, for sure. The water is being drawn up. Life is being drawn up. And this is the time when we're going to celebrate the tree. Not at full potential. We're going to actually talk about the idea of latent potential, of the idea that inside every single one of us, life stirs. The new beginning is here. The Renaissance is already coming. And in the last dying throes of winter, we can now get ready to be excited for the warm sun, to taste once again that fruit of the sweet fruits of connection, of understanding, of knowledge, of peace, of security. That's all in its way. And I think now more than ever before, we'll talk a bit later again, maybe about the idea of what's going on in the world right now with Corona, but I think now more than before to kind of have something very hopeful, something to look forward to. Even though it's dark outside, even though it's cold outside, we just had snow, but in those tree trunks, life is forming. New life is on its way. Let's get on with the show. There are going to be 15 steps. There are 15. Number 15 is what? How is 15 linked to Tu B'Shvat? How is 15 linked to Tu B'Shvat?
It's the 15th of the month.
Thank you, David. It's the 15th of the month today. So it's 15th of the month. And we always see 15. It's a number that keeps on coming up. There are 15 steps in the temple, in the Beit HaMikdash. They went from the Ezrat Nashim, from one of the areas of the temple to the other, to the high level. There are 15 steps. There are 15 psalms called Shir HaMa'alos. Shir HaMa'alos. There are 15 psalms. Always 15 is the number which represents the idea of growth. And this is where David Chernick's answer comes into play, because what is 15? 15 is the moon. Every month you start at 0 with the new moon, and then you get 15 days till you get this big bright moon. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I haven't been outside tonight. If it's not a cloudy night, you will see a beautiful, big, bright, round moon in the sky. Okay? And this is the idea of steps up and down, constant renewal of life. We're now at that stage of the month where everything is coming to its heightened state. That's why our main festivals are on the 15th of the month, right? Tu B'Shvat, Pesach, and Sukkot are all on the 15th of the month. Okay, these are our main festivals. Even Purim as well. 1 month to Purim. That's something to get you all excited about. Okay, so 15. That's what we're going to try and eat 15 fruits tonight. Okay, so let's get on with the show. I know you're all chomping at the bait to get eating. It's been 25 minutes and we haven't eaten a thing. So let's go. I want to take out the first bracha we're going to make tonight, which is going to be the bracha on your muffin the mule. So we've got the muffins here. Okay, take out your muffins. And now, obviously, there are 7 species of Israel. Eretz chitar, serah, gefen, uteinav, rimon, zeit shemen, udvash. The muffin is almost definitely yes, parov. It wouldn't have been bought milky. Gemma, are you on the call? Gemma is actually here. Gemma, if you are here, can you tell us? Is it
Yeah,
parov?
it's parov.
Okay, there you go. It's parov. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a parov muffin here. So the way that we understand that these 7 fruits, the 7 fruits that are unique, that they stand out, they are somehow linked intrinsically to the land of Israel, to the people of Israel, are wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, and dates. These are the 7 fruits that are unique and special for us to focus on tonight. And of course, from that we learn the order of brachot, the order of blessings. We always start according to the way that the verse is. So we start over the brachot for wheat. Eretz chita or serah. We've got this, I believe, is made from good, unhealthy flour. I'm sorry, everyone, but wanted to give you a bit of a treat. So we've got the bracha for the wheat. Now, one of the most fundamental, I think, aspects of this Tu B'Shat Seder is about connecting everything back to Hashem, connect everything back to our Creator. And there's nothing that does that more than actually a bracha, a blessing. A lot of people out there don't know what a blessing is. A lot of people out there are very confused when it comes to blessings. Many, many years ago, I had a summer job. I worked at the Edgewood Hotel. It's now known as the Laura Ashley Hotel in Elstree. And I worked in the kitchens of the Edgewood Hotel. And the chef wasn't such a nice guy. And I think he had a bit of a problem with Jewish people. And I remember he made a comment about how I couldn't eat certain foods because I was Jewish, because the rabbi hadn't blessed it. Because the rabbi has to bless the food and then I can eat it. That's what he said. And a lot of people, if you ask most people out there saying, what happens when you say a blessing? People will often say that you take some food and then you bless the food. It's like a Harry Potter sort of secret spell. I'm now going to bless the food. I'm going to sprinkle my magic dust of blessing over this food. I'm going to transform the food into something that it wasn't before with my blessing. I now bless you, O food. O cake, you are now blessed. And I will now bless you, and you will now be. It's not true. With the blessing, we're not necessarily changing the food. Although there is a shita, we're going to see in a minute that there is an idea that we change somehow the spiritual essence of the food. When we say a blessing, we're changing ourselves. We're changing ourselves. Because when we say a blessing, we're becoming mindful of the fact that the world was created for my benefit, but I have to recognize who created it. Now, the best person for us to read that from is the Maharal of Prague, which is in your source book. If you take a look at the source book, it's inside the double-paged one on the right-hand side. We are so honored that Mr. Charles has offered, he said before, please could I be the one to read? I said, of course you can. Emily's dad has to be one of the readers tonight. So if you could honor us, that'd be really, really kind of you. Just read to us what it says. The Talmud says, if you unmute yourself, and this is a tradition for a child somehow to read for us on a JLE Soul Fitness class. So if you'd like to unmute yourself and read for us, yeah.
The Talmud says that someone who eats and doesn't say a blessing is considered a thief. Why? Because every aspect of God's creation is inherently holy. So when one eats a piece of fruit, he is depriving the world of a piece of holiness. A blessing re-infuses the world with holiness. Eating without a blessing, however, lowers the level of holiness in the world without replacing the loss and is regarded as theft.
Somehow this cake, this fruit, whatever it's going to be, right? The expression is la'aretz Hashem umlo, that the land belongs to God. But at the same time, we have another verse that says that God gave us the land to have and enjoy. So the answer is, the land does belong to God, the fruits belong to God, but when I can recognize where it comes from, when I can say a big thank you to the one who created it, who sustained it, then I unlock that produce, and now it is mine and I'm able to eat it. But I have to first say thank you to the one who created it and gave it to me. I'm not gonna. I want people to leave, but the other beautiful source here from Chemnat Yamim tells us also that every fruit has a specific angel, and by saying a blessing over the fruit, we empower each angel to reproduce more of those fruits. And if you don't say a bracha over a fruit, it deprives the world of spiritual energy. So that's one thing, the idea of unlocking the produce, and now I can make it mine. The other thing, of course, is mindful eating. Mindful eating, and we're going to do that a little bit later with the rambutan. Mindful eating is that before I scoff this and stick it down my throat and swallow it, I'm going to pause for a second, and I'm going to remember that there was a huge process that came about. There's a wheat seed that had to go into the ground that started to decay, and then gravity somehow and outshot this wheat, and the wheat used photosynthesis and the sunshine in order to grow and develop until finally it was cut down, and then it was ground, and it was smashed, and it was kneaded, and then lots of sugar and chocolate chips were added and coloring and baked in the oven. But that's the last bit we don't have to worry about so much. But the idea is that there's a whole process that went into this. There's sunshine, there's all different minerals, and there's all different types of processes that have gone in. So when I stop and I say Baruch Atah, that means Hashem, you are the source of all blessing. Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, you are the master of the world, you are the master of all creation. Borei minei mizonos, who created all different types of sustenance to keep us alive, to keep us healthy, to keep us strong, and I'm recognizing where it comes from. So let's kick off our Tu B'Shvat with the bracha. It's in your booklet. It's the first one here. It's the bracha for cake, and I suggest we take just take about 10 seconds just to look at we'll do mindful eating in a few minutes, but take a look at that lovely cake, hold on your hand, and slowly and carefully say that blessing. Baruch Atah, you are the source of all blessings. Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, God, the master of all the universe, master of everything in the world. Borei minei mizonos, who created the species of nourishment. And you say the bracha, and you eat it and enjoy it. Let's kick off Tu B'Shvat Seder. Let's go for it. Here we go. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Borei Minei Mizonos.
Amen.
Amen.
Wunderbar.
Quick request.
Yeah.
Can we say brachas all together? Like everybody unmutes and says them together.
I think that's a beautiful idea, Steve, and we will do that from now on. Thank you for bringing that up. I love that. Okay,
learn that at cocktail class.
Next, up for our Tu B'Shvat Seder, we're going to go for the wine. So you take your white wine, take a bottle of white wine. Now, if anyone doesn't want to drink wine, that's also fine. Please do not feel like you have to. There's no necessity. The grape juice is also perfectly fine, but take the white wine, okay, just the white at the moment, and fill it up. Now, obviously, I've got my green screen, so you can't really see what's going on here. Okay? Take the green screen. Okay, so you take the white wine. Now, there you go. Everyone's making l'chaim. Justin's enjoying the cake. Good on you, Justin. Love it. Bless you. Okay, here we go. So take the wine in your hand. I must say, it's also lovely to have Josh Fraser with us live tonight. Josh, so nice to have you, Josh. Okay, Dave Webb's got his hand up. Is that a question or just
really lovely to be here? I'm really enjoying it.
I don't know why my hand's up. It's not. I'm eating my cake.
Okay, now before we have the wine, again, let's get mindful about this. Let's kind of take it back to its source. You know, the wine shows up in almost every part of Jewish life. Okay, you have wine starting at the beginning. The baby's Brit Milah, we say a bracha on wine. If there's a pidyon ben, you say a bracha on wine. Every Shabbat on a Friday night, you have a bracha on wine. Every Shabbat morning, every Yom Tov, you make a bracha on wine. At the wedding, you make a bracha on wine. At the Sheva brachas, we're making a bracha on wine. So why is wine showing up? What is it about the wine that we keep on coming back once again? Each one of these kind of moments in life, we're always coming back to yayin, to wine. Anyone want to kind of take a guess at that? Hands up, because I have to, otherwise get balagan. Who wants to tell us, why is wine just so vital? Why do we keep having wine show up at all the different areas? Yeah, Daria, welcome. Daria from Rome. Do you want to say something, Daria? Hola, buonasera, d'Italia.
Hello.
Hola. Buonasera. It's unfortunately it's French wine, not Italian wine. But welcome. So Daria, why do we always have wine at all these events, Daria?
Because we want to elevate the sparks of the wine.
Very good. We want to elevate the sparks of the wine. That's good. But we could do that maybe once every couple of months. With wine, we're doing it every single Shabbat. We're taking out wine, saying brachos on wine. At a wedding, why under the chuppah do we have wine? What's it doing there? Why do we have to have wine?
I think it's the highest element that connects us to a higher spiritual place.
Yeah. Okay. And it's interesting about alcohol. We'll come back to that maybe in a bit. But alcohol, I like that. Who else wants to have a go? Anna, yes, Anna 840. Go for it. Anna 840. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I have to unmute yourself, unfortunately. But yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Great. I didn't know I'm 840. Just trying to phrase this. There's a special connection between drinking, being a little bit drunk, and being communal, because when you drink, you have thoughts that are very genuine, they come out. And obviously that's why Jewish people, and there's mushaval wine and there's non-mushaval wine. So it essentially captures the, forgot what the word is in Hebrew, the separation, the Kiddusha and the not Kiddusha.
Interesting, so very nice. Different
somehow connected. I don't know how to connect that, but that's
nice, Anna. Thank you. I like that. I appreciate it. Very, very nice. I'm realizing the time, so I would ask, oh, Dad, yeah, Dad. Because you're my dad, I always have to go to Dad. Yeah, Dad.
I've been told that I'm making a toast.
You're making a toast.
A toast.
A toast, yeah, but why wine of all things? You can make a toast on whiskey. Why don't we have whiskey under the chuppah? I mean, maybe if you're Scottish, it makes more sense.
I can't answer that. I'm losing myself now.
David Webb, line 3. Welcome, David.
Wine is like the one thing that all the nations use. So it's something that we can use to separate ourselves from the other nation while it's bringing Kedusha.
Okay, that's nice. I think all these answers are pretty much there. But I want to share something with you that I heard. This is in the name of Shlomo Carlebach, who was a rabbi who was had tremendous insight into life. And he says the following. He says, when you look at wine, wine is all about process. And it's also about painful process. If you take that grape that's on the vine, it's just doing great. It's, it's sitting in the sunshine, sunbathing, having a great time sitting in the sun. And then you come out to that little grape and you say, good afternoon, Mr. Grape. And you pluck it off the vine and it's starting to scream. And then not just that, we haven't finished yet. We take that grape and we stick it in a vat and we start to tread on it and crush it and break it and squeeze it. And the whole time this grape is screaming out saying, why have you done this to me? Why are you doing this to me? I can't understand why this is happening to me. And then you put that grape juice into a barrel and then you let it sit for 10 years, 11 years, how many years it takes. Some wines, maybe even 30, 40 years. And while it's in that barrel, it ferments, it grows this bouquet. Then you take it out and pick up your wine now and give a schmeck. Smell that wine now. Smell that wine in front of you. Smell that beautiful, that scent of sweetness.
Yeah, that must be his dad.
Right, that is my that's all right, Sophie. That you have that amazing scent of that smell, that sweetness that comes out, and you lift up the wine and you say a bracha and you drink it. And it says Rav Shlomo Carlebach, it tells us that in life we have so many times where we're being crushed, where things don't make sense. It's painful, it's hurtful, it's hard. We don't know why this is happening to us. And sometimes we look up to Shammai, we look up to heaven and say, Hashem, why are you doing this to me? But the ultimate understanding is that it's a process that we go through and eventually we'll drink that wine. I think it's now more than ever, maybe during this time of Corona, we're going through a lot of difficulties in the country, in Europe, in the world. We're all kind of going through very, very hard times. And it's a process. And one day we'll get together and we'll drink a l'chaim and we'll look back and understand why Corona had to happen and we'll say the l'chaim over it. So let's hold out that wine, give a good smell again, being mindful with a bracha, having full kavanah, full focus as we say that bracha on the wine, which is, again, Baruch Atah Hashem, which is, you are the source of all blessing, Hashem. Elokeinu melacham, you are the master of all the forces in the world. Some people think that there are forces which are independent. There's nature, there's weather, there's politics, there's Trump, there's all this stuff. No, Hashem, you are the one who's in control. Borei Pri Hagefen, who created the fruit of the vine. Steve has asked if everyone could unmute themselves and say the bracha together. I'm happy to do that as long as you mute yourselves again. So let's go. Unmute yourselves. Okay, and after 3, let's say the bracha together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafet.
Amen.
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 Chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim, chevra, l'chaim, l'chaim. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're going through now. As you saw, as we go through the Seder, we're going to change the color of the wine. So don't down all the white wine. You're going to need some more as we go along. Seder, probably the few out there who it's already a bit too late. I'm sure some of you already downed all in one go. Hey, that's fine. No judgment this end. Okay, let's moving on. We're now going to get to saying the bracha on the fruit. Now, the way that we always choose to say brachas on the fruit, as I mentioned before, there is a Seder, there is a order, which we always go by. Now, as it turns out, according to this, the bracha that we should say on the fruit would be the fruit of the olive fruit, which you've got a little jar here of the olive. I think goes very well with the white wine personally, you know, being a vintner myself, as being someone who obviously understands fine wines. Now, if someone really hates olives and you want to say another one, that's fine. If you really detest olives, that's totally understandable and totally fine. You don't have to. Yeah, okay, so if Sam hates olives, don't worry about it. But if you can, pull out one of the olives, and we're going to say now the bracha that's going to cover us for all the other fruits we're going to eat tonight, which is the bracha of Borei Pri Ha'etz, and it's the bracha on the olive. And that will cover again for all of us tonight as we go on. And we are again talking about the fruit trees. The olive tree, of course, is something which is so symbolic. And Noah, someone mentioned Noah. I think Daria, where are you, Daria? You're here still, Daria? I think you are. And Daria is joining us live with her family from Rome. Hola, hola. Buenas tardes, Daria. She mentioned Noah, and she said how wine that Noah got drunk, and therefore we are rectifying Noah. So same idea that the branch that the dove brought back to the ark was the branch of an olive. And we see, of course, that olive goes on later. It's called Hanukkah, the olive oil of Hanukkah. And what we say about similar idea of process to wine, both wine and olives are things we push and we press and we squeeze in order to get the best out of us. That's why 2 festivals of Purim and Hanukkah both revolve around grapes and olives. Both are things that you squeeze and press to get your finished product. But we hold the olive up and we'll say with full kavanah, again with a beautiful bracha, we can say all together, we're saying, Hashem, thank you, the creator, the source of all blessing, for creating this beautiful fruit, the fruits of the vine. Hashem, you could have created a world where there was only one taste available. You could have created a world where there was only one color available. You could have created a world where there's only one smell available. You could have created a world where basically all we ate every day was gruel or something like that, Oliver Twist style. But no, you created a colorful world with different types of fruits and tastes. And that's what we're thanking Hashem on Tu B'Shvat. So let's hold that olive up together and we'll say the bracha. If you want to unmute yourself again, it's the third one. It's the one here of Borei Pri Ha'etz. It's on the thing. It's unmute ourselves. And after 3, 1, 2, 3. Baruch Borei Pri Ha'etz.
Amen.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, now. Okay, we've kicked off with the fruits. Amen. Against the brachas. Orion, lovely to have you here. So nice to see you. And Simon as well. Eze Yofi. Baruch Hashem. So nice to have you. Okay, moving on, guys. Just quick, I was checking with Anne Elliott, how Anne's doing. Obviously, being my old school teacher. Just checking. Anne, how's everything going so far for you?
Fine, thank you very much.
Okay, you're enjoying.
I'm not actually in Jerusalem, by the way.
I thought you were. I thought you were because I knew it was daytime there, so I thought.
No, that is the my splashback in my kitchen behind the cooker.
And this one's for you. This one's for you. Ready?
Okay.
I'm going to play a bit more as we go along. I think people want to get on with the fruits, so I'll play a bit more as we go along. Now we get into the mystical part. We come into the mystical part of the show. Obviously, when it comes to the mystical part, I do feel that it's time that I did this. Obviously, now we go to mystical. And in the mystical mode, we're going to be climbing through the different worlds now. We're climbing through the different worlds on Tu B'Shvat. We've had a bit of wine. That's cool. But we're going to try and explain some exceedingly difficult concepts in Kabbalah in 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Hey, that's just normal nowadays, I suppose. So bear with me as I try my hardest to explain Tzimtzum in 5 minutes or less. This is something which is pretty much impossible to do.
On 1 foot. On
1 foot. So here we go. Let's try our hardest. Now, I mentioned before that we say, I'm really not enjoying this star background. I think it's a bit weird. I look like, what do you call it? The dude who used to look at the night sky with the monocle. Let's go back to being an orchard again. Okay, so we said before that on Tu B'Shvat it's about the Pri Ha'ilan, the fruit of the tree. And we're referring back there to the original tree, the tree in the Garden of Eden, the tree that Adam and Eve ate from. Right? That is what the Kabbalists say we are rectifying when we eat fruits on Tu B'Shvat. We are rectifying that original mistake of Adam and Eve when they ate from the tree. It's very clear that all they had to do was just kind of refrain from eating that one tree. They had loads of trees they could eat for. There was one tree they had to refrain from, but yet they were unable to do so. They ate from that tree, and therefore, of course, we are now obviously still picking up the fruits. So we have to, there is the simple act of eating fruit on Tu B'Shvat. We are able to contribute to cosmic repair. That's what we're doing. We're doing cosmic repair by eating the fruits that we have on Tu B'Shvat. So it's very interesting. The Kabbalists talk about how we have a process whereby God created the world, and that process is called Tzimtzum. So bear with me, guys. Stephen in Somerset. Who is next to you there, Stephen? I can't really see so well. Is it Johanna? I can't tell if it's Johanna. And it's not Johanna, is it? No.
It's Joanna, my wife, Joanna.
Oh, Joanna. Hi, Joanna. Nice to see you. Hello. Hi. Okay. So Stephen, you'll correct me if I'm wrong here. Let's go. David Chernick, I need your video on for this because I need to know you're with me, David. Okay. Here we go. So we say like this. We have an infinite God. Yeah, we have a finite world. How does it happen that you have an infinite God that's able to make and create a finite world? So the way he does that is through what I will call step-down converters. The light, the ultimate light, the Ein Sof, the Or Ein Sof, becomes weaker. The light is weaker, and therefore, as the light over time gets weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, that's how we're able to live in the world we're in, where the light is almost non-existent, and therefore this process of constriction of Tzimtzum, right? This constriction allows for us to appear that we're living in a world. Now I'm going to try and show you this through a little example here. Let's try and see if we can do this, okay? So in my hand, I'm holding something, and it's pretty much impossible to see what that thing is because I've got a really, really strong light shining on it. No one can see the image. No one can see what it really is, but it's there, it exists, but the light is just so incredibly strong that you can't tell what's happening. The only way that you'll be able to see what I'm holding in my hand is if I somehow move the light away. I move the light away and I diminish the light slowly, 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 and I diminish the light until the light's not gone, and you can see hopefully that that's the queen and it's a 10p piece. But if the light's so super strong, you won't be able to know what is there. It's impossible. This is a very simple Blue Peter style explanation of what the hardest thing for you to explain the world is. It's called Tzimtzum, and I've given you a quote here from Aryeh Kaplan, one of the great teachers of the last 50 years, who was able to explain very complex Kabbalistic ideas in layman's terms in a way that we are able to somehow grasp. So I'm going to ask if it's okay for a volunteer to read for us from Inner Space. It's kind of difficult to understand. It's hard, but let's try together to do that. So it's Inner Space. It says the 4 worlds, and I'm so excited to pick on a volunteer. Who's that volunteer going to be? I'm not sure yet because I've got all these wonderful faces in front of me. Is someone actually would like to read to me, or just kind of is Anna El got a hand up? I'm not sure. If not, I'm going to ask Emily to read. Go for Emily, volunteering. Go the 4 worlds, Emily. It's on the back page of the pullout.
Yeah, the 4 worlds. In creating the universe, God concealed his light so that creation could exist as an independent entity. This, in turn, was in order to bestow his goodness upon man through him resembling his creator. Thus, the creation took place as a primary concealment of the divine presence in order to create an environment for man. The Kabbalists speak of creation as taking place in 5 general stages. Each stage or universe is preceded by and is the outcome of an initial Tzimtzum contraction of God's light. In this way, God created the universes on a scale of descending magnitude. Each Tzimtzum capitalizes on the previous degree of concealment brought about and merely serves to further attenuate the light. The creative process thus unfolds from above to below, involving at every stage a greater diminution of the light.
Okay, so just pause there, Emily. So we're saying here, right, the light, and I can't go into too much in a Tu B'Shvat Seder on 1 foot. Okay, Orion's giving me that look like, Rabbi Dov, how dare you even try? But I'm trying, Orion, I'm trying, okay? But we got the Ein Sof, of which we can't say anything. The endless, Ein Sof, there is no end, right? The infinite being. There's the Or Ein Sof, which emanates, his light, which is never ending, the infinite light. And then from that infinite light now, there's a constriction, and each constriction is a different world. And each world, a step down until you are in this world where I exist, where you exist, where I can touch a glass, I can touch a computer, I can have other people around me. But the reality is that we are all existing in the lowest level, the world of Asiya, where essentially we are at the lowest level of the light. So the kind of the strange paradox is that on the one hand, we're in the lowest level, therefore we can exist. So God's existence, so to speak, or not existence, but God's appearance is at its lowest level, but at the highest level of God's appearance of his manifestation, we will be swallowed up. We can't exist because the light is far too strong. So it's literally like step-down converters. Like, if you try to plug your fan or your fridge into the mains at a power station, as the electricity is leaving it, it will just blow up. It's too much power. The power has to come down in steps until we can exist. And these are the 4 worlds. The 4 worlds are the step-down converters. Go down from the world of Atzilus, it steps down to Bria, it steps down to Yetzirah, it steps down to now finally the world of Asiya. Carry on, Emily. Emily, you are actually muted currently.
Sorry. This results in the possibility of greater concealment of and separation from the divine at every successive level. This process culminates in the physical universe, the environment which is characterized by the greatest concealment of the divine. Finally, in the physical universe, God's presence is all but completely undetectable.
Beautiful, Emily. Hence, we live in a world where people could say, I don't see God, so maybe God doesn't exist, right? You can have people in the world who do not believe, right? Which is very understandable, because you go outside, there's no God popping his head out the window saying, hi, I'm here, right? Yuri Gagarin, famously first man in space, when he went up in his what would you call it? It's not a shuttle. The Russian ones were called, Steve will help you with the name of the Russian jets, but the Russian rockets were called
Sputnik.
No, Sputnik was the satellite. The first thing, but no, Sputnik was a satellite. But Yuri Gagarin went up, and yeah, exactly. So, what did Yuri Gagarin say? I don't see God. I don't see God anywhere. In other words, he was sort of expecting to see a man with a stick in the sky when he went up there and didn't see him and came down again. So it was kind of proof, proof affirmation that God doesn't exist. So we can't be in a world where you don't see God because the light is so low. What we're going to try and do now is climb up as much as possible through the different worlds. That's what the Kabbalists talk about, the 4 worlds that we're going to try and climb through, starting with the world we're in right now, which is the world of Asiya. So now, in the world of Asiya, which is white wine, we are going to be focusing on the fruits that have a hard shell. So that would be the fruits like your walnuts and your hazelnuts. Now, I realize that some of you might not have nutcrackers around, easily accessible. Yeah, I don't think you do. James, do you have a nutcracker there? You don't. Okay, so that's why we threw in some hazelnuts as well. Now, don't use your mouth to open a walnut. There is a trick, by the way. If you get a coin, a very thin coin, you can just put the coin in, really trying to get it in and twist it. I've just opened it. Look at that. I just opened a walnut with a 10p piece. Look at that. Amazing. Just did that live on air. That's Blue Peter for you. Okay, so we have the hard outer shells. Now this, of course, the hard outer shell represents this world. We're in the world of Asiya, because the outer shell is what we call the klipa. The klipa is the Hebrew word for a shell. It's a word for an outer layer. And we live in a world of klipa. We live in the hard edge of creation. We live in the hard edge of creation. We live in that place where, that idea of a sense of the greatness of Hashem is limited to us because we live in the world of the hard edge. Klipa, by the way, also is a negative, mostly negative term in Kabbalistic literature, which is where a lot of the sort of the spiritual negativity draws itself from the idea of the shell. We know that the shell is so important in fruit because it protects the fruit. Without it, the fruit would just be destroyed, would wither away, would be eaten. So the clipper is important. The clipper is vital, but at the same time, it's a big mistake if you give primacy to the clipper, you give primacy to the peel, you give primacy to the shell without ignoring what's inside. You completely miss the point. And there are people, unfortunately, in this world who go through their lives giving primacy to shells, in primacy to outer edges, without ever actually eating what's inside as well. So in this level of Asiya, take a walnut, take a hazelnut, eat the fruit, and just enjoy that sense of being at this stage now, in the world of Asiya, eating mindfully as you do, crack open a walnut, and really kind of meditate on this idea that in the world of Asiya, there is the outer edges of our lives. Sometimes we give them primacy. Sometimes we give them the importance that actually, really, we should be actually giving to the fruits that are inside. So have a good little munch. They also you have the walnuts, hazelnuts, and of course, tangerines. Although some people do eat the tangerine peel, it's been known. But have a good enjoy eating the fruits of the walnuts and the hazelnuts, etc. Now, this stage, we can also say a bracha on the shechianu. The shechianu, I suggest, take another fruit which has got a klipa, and it's this fruit. It's called the rambutan. You should have it inside your thing. It's called the rambutan. Okay, rambutan. I call it the animal fruit because it reminds me of Animal from the Muppets, the drummer from the Muppets. That's what David understands what I'm saying by that, right? So this also is a fruit that has a hard outer shell, a hairy outer shell. Now what you have to do with this, obviously, you take a knife and you've got to cut it in half, and it's like a bit of a lychee inside. It's a really interesting exotic fruit. And just to say about this, that we have, there you go, look, you pull it out from inside the animal fruit. There's beautiful white lychee looking sort of substance inside. Oh, Oreo, we missed the first fruit as we got cut off. Yeah, the first fruit is going to be this rambutan, Orion. The rambutan. It looks like Animal from the Muppets. Like, yeah, exactly, the hairy one. Okay, beautiful. Now, the idea is that we say shechianu bracha on anything significant which we're doing for the first time in the year. And I guess this comes back to what we said before about how important fruits are. That, the first time, you normally say shechianu on a kiddush of one of the Yom Tovs, or on candle lighting of one of the Yom Tovs, or you say shechianu on a beautiful new suit. You say shechianu when someone gets married. So this goes to show us once again how important fruit is, that we say a shechianu bracha on fruit. What does Shehecheyanu mean? The translation of the words Shehecheyanu v'kiyimanu v'giyanu zman hazeh, it translates us that you have kept us alive, you sustained us, and you brought us to this season. And I think actually what's amazing on today, which has been Holocaust Memorial Day, January 27th, it's quite amazing how it fell out this year that Holocaust Memorial Day and Tu B'Shvat are on the same exact day. Because on this day, we're going to say a Shehecheyanu prayer. And the Shehecheyanu prayer is that you've kept us alive and you've sustained us and you've brought us to this moment. And how amazing it is to look at us now, 76 years after the liberation of Auschwitz. On this day, the January 27th, we see that a nation that for all intents and purposes was destroyed, was incinerated, where the future looked very dim for the Jewish people. In fact, it looked almost non-existent, but rather we are still here today. We are still strong today. But we couldn't imagine that we would be able to, grandparents, Rochelle was telling me, my wife Rochelle, her grandparents were both survivors of the camps. And on Sunday last week was her grandfather's yacht site. And her grandfather merited to be held the baby at his great-grandson's bris in Australia. And my mother-in-law and I were talking the other night, and she said that when they spoke at the bris, he said that he never imagined he would live to see children, let alone grandchildren or great-grandchildren. But he did, and he lived through to hold his great-grandchild at bris. And so we say the bracha of Shehecheyanu v'kiyanu v'giyanu zman hazeh. People in the past have tried to bury us, but they didn't realize they were just planting us. They've tried to bury us, but they were just planting us. So we say it together. If you want, we can say the bracha together, having full mind. And again, this is a really beautiful way of doing mindful eating. Whatever you've got in front of you now, let's do some mindful eating here. Mindful eating is you hold it in your hand, take a look at the fruit, its texture, give it a smell, what it smells like, and just notice how it feels in your hand. And as you say the bracha now, put it in your mouth, let the flavors flow, be present in the eating of this fruit. So let's say the bracha together. If you want, you can unmute. The bracha of Shehecheyanu v'kiyimanu v'giyanu zman hazeh. Let's do it together. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Amen. Amen.
Amen.
So you can drink white wine with every one of these fruits and nuts.
You want it?
There you go.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Kids are being fussy here.
Dov, can I ask how do you open the nut with the 10p coin? I'm just quite impressed with that sort of skill. It just seems quite it's just quite impressive.
Do you not go to Cubs, Josh?
No. Beavers.
It's really quite simple. You get a coin. I'll show you again if you want to see. If you really are being honest, it's not hard.
It works with keys as well.
You get the thing. You fit in you kind of wedge it in a little bit. Keep wedging it. Push down, wedging in, and you crack it open. There you go. Crap, beautiful. Many skills. Okay, we have now gone with all our kavanah into that world of Asiya. And it's a world we're in right now, a world, the hard edge, the edge of the clipper, the edge of existence that we're in right now. We're now going to elevate ourselves up, and we're going to put ourselves into the next level up, which is the level of Yetzirah, one level higher. And I'd like to open up now the red wine. Open up your red wine and pour a little bit of the red wine into your white, just to kind of make it a little bit rosé, slightly rosé. Just pour a little bit of red into your white. Okay, and as I now play a nice nigun, a nice song, I want you just to close your eyes and let's kind of allow ourselves just to kind of float up a little bit into the next level and just have a little sip of wine and enjoy yourselves and be in the moment. Here we go. Na, 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 na. ולזמר ולזמר בשמך העליון טוב להודות להשם ולהגיד לבקר חסדכם אוי להגיד בבוקר חסדך באמונה סובה לילייס אמונה סובה לילייס טוי ואוידייס להשם נעיינוי אי להגיד בבוקר חסדך אוי להגיד בבוקר חסדך באמונה סובה לילייס באמונה סובה לילייס טוב להוידייס להשם. Woo! Thank you very much. I'm wary of the time, so let's move on a little bit to the next level, Yetzirah. Okay, in this one now, we're going to take fruits that are soft on the outside. Okay, we've got nectarines, we've got plums here, dates as well. You've got a nice little date situation here. Just remember with the dates, just to slice them open and look inside, check there's no any insects or bugs inside. If you open the date, it's quite simple. You kind of slice it open along its width. Okay, you've got these lovely dates here, yummy. Just take the date, give it a bit of a slice. I feel like I'm on Bake Off here with Prue. Okay, and just take a little look inside and just make sure there's no insects. Okay, well, my assistant Sarah is going to help me with that. Now, what are we meditating on here? What's the focus here when it comes to dates? The answer is to this level of Yetzirah. So we see that there are people who, on the outside, they might have a clipper on the outside. They might be kind of the outside. They might have difficult, prickly personalities, hard to deal with, etc. But there are other people who maybe from the outside, they're actually very soft and mushy and lovely, but inside there's still a core which is difficult. There's a core which is tough, which is maybe eating them up from the inside. They feel maybe a little bit forlorn. They might feel a little angry, frustrated. It's that inner pip, that inner stone, which is inside that we're looking to melt away as well. And that's what we're doing through this Seder tonight. We're eating these fruits. We're trying to melt away as much as possible that which is not just on the outside or the inside too. And therefore, on this level of Yetzirah, as we're now kind of coming towards, climbing up these levels, I'm going to pause for a minute. And I'd like to do just a 3-minute little meditation. I know that those of us who come to Soul Fitness regularly every week, of which there are a few of you here now tonight, will be familiar with this, and you'll be pros, you're used to it. But those who aren't, I'd like to just suspend all judgment on this. We're going to do literally a 3-4 minute meditation just to lift ourselves a little bit and allow maybe to melt away anything on the outside or the inside which is holding us back. So find yourselves in a really comfortable position. Maybe put your phones away for a minute. Any phones, any distractions, any football screens, anything that's happening, just pop it to the side. We're going to do meditation together now. Here we go. Can just try and find yourself in a comfortable position, back straight. And we're going to breathe in through our nose. Hold just for a few seconds and then breathe out again. Breathing in through the nose. Hold for a few seconds and then out again. So you breathe in this time. Now notice that the air is cooler, is colder as you breathe in. Notice the cool air coming in. As you breathe out, notice that the air is warmer. Just focusing on your breath, focusing on the sustenance, the breath. The word for soul in Hebrew is neshama, and the word for breath is neshima. So we know that we come back to our soul, come back to our breathing. We calm ourselves down. We go back to that brain stem, that source of all mental activity, and just tell it everything's okay, I'm breathing, I'm fine. And we can come to a place of security and safety just by focusing on our breathing. Now, I want you to try, if you can, just to follow me on a very simple body scan. A body scan is a technique that's used very often in meditation, just to take that clipper, that edge of the body, and to melt it slightly, to get it really to a place of being really asleep, letting go every part of the body. So starting with the right foot, just be aware of it and just send it to sleep in your mind. Your right foot, your right ankle, your right calf muscle, your right knee, your right thigh. Just be aware of your right leg and feel like your right leg is really warm and heavy. Right leg is warm and heavy. Beautiful. Right leg just really warm and heavy and relaxed. And let's go to your left leg now. So your left toes, your left foot, your left ankle, your left calf muscle, your left knee, your left thigh, just feeling warm, heavy and relaxed. Warm, heavy and relaxed. So both legs now just feel really asleep. Just again, taking the klipa, the hard edge, and just letting go. Now with your right hand, feeling all the fingers of your right hand, just let them go. Your wrists, moving up. Your elbow, your right upper arm, just warm, heavy, relaxed, let it go. Your left hand as well. The left forearm, left elbow, left upper arm, just warm, heavy, relaxed, let it go. Your tummy, the seat of so many stresses, just kind of unpack them and kind of let them fly away. Going up to your chest and your back as well, all the way up. Let go of any tension you're storing in your back, let it go, let it come free. Your right shoulder, your left shoulder, just feel the release. Again, what we're doing is we're just letting go of all the klippa energy, letting go of all the hard, extraneous, difficult shells of our life. As we go now to the top, to our right ear, let it go. The right ear, the right side of your face. Your left ear, the left side of your face. Your chin, your mouth, your teeth, your tongue. Your nose, your eyes, over the top of your head. So everything just feels warm, heavy, and relaxed. Being in this moment of Tu B'Shvat, such an auspicious time. Like we said before, the Dili, the sap is rising, life is coming. Times have been tough for every single one of us over the past year. Now is a beautiful, auspicious moment to let go and loosen up even what's inside now. That stone inside, that heavy pit or pip or whatever you call it in England, it's been dragging us down, that's been heavy, that we're sort of schlepping wherever we go. I want you to gently feel that you are loosening, untying, letting that stone go, letting it deflate. I want you to visualize like you got a stone inside that's like gently deflating, getting softer and softer until it now melts into the rest of your body, feeling at one with yourself, feeling at one with your inner core and your inner sense of who you are. Just focusing in as much as you can. And as I ask you just to stay in this moment now on Tu B'Shvat, just to stay here, your eyes closed, gently massaging away, taking out any frustration, pain, anger. Just focus on this now for the next few minutes. Whenever you're ready, just to come back into the room, just lightly kind of tap your body, tap your arms, just feeling fresh. We're taking away those inner steps of Yetzirah, and we move out without the stone, saying L'chaim, 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 L'chaim. Take your dates, take those fruits, make a tikkun, make a fixing by eating them, L'chaim, L'chaim. And we move on now out of Yetzirah into the next level. Pour a bit more red wine into your cup. And we're now into the level of Bria. Bria, of course, one step down from the world of Atzilus. Bria is when we see that both the fruit, the inner and the outer are the same. You can eat the inside and you can eat the outside. That's your grapes. That's your, not just your grapes, it's your figs and it's your blueberries. Take them, enjoy them. Now, just one thing with the figs, of course, please be careful with the figs. Slice them down the middle. Open them up, as I've done here. I'll just demonstrate with the fig. They can have bugs in them. Be very careful with figs, fresh figs especially. So you've got to slice your fig down the middle, okay, and then sort of open it up and have a look inside. Have a good stare and make sure there's nothing in there which is wriggling around or moving. If it is, call 999. No joke. If it is, it's going to be a bug. So don't eat that. Not such a good idea, Jewishly. Also, we've got here persimmons, the Sharon fruits. We've got Sharon Cohen on the. Hi, Sharon. How are you doing? All the way from Totteridge. Sharon, are you there, Sharon?
I am indeed. Hello.
And how do you feel knowing there's a fruit named after you?
Really good. It's always nice to know that something is named after me.
Okay, good. Have a little eat of this and say L'chaim, 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 L'chaim. Eat your blueberries, eat your grapes. And I want to talk just very quickly about one thing here, and then we'll move on. There is a fruit
question.
Yes, I tell you what, Anna, I'll be honest with you, I'm running a bit low on time. I know that I'm meant to have finished at some point now. So just hold out the question to the end if that's okay. Unless it's something like needs to be, is it now?
Yeah, because these are Adama. I mean, they are not trees.
It's a machlokes as whether Adama or eight. Some people say it's eight for blueberries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Smell lovely. Yeah.
Hashtag controversial.
Controversial, Steve. I know you say it. Now, I want to say one thing about these fruits, which are the outside, inside of the same. Obviously, can you tell the theme? With each step we're going on, we're melting away. The light is essentially, we're getting closer back to that pure light. Okay. You start off with hard shells, and then you got inner hardness. Then you come each step getting closer to the light. Carobs in Israel, carob trees abound. Now, carob is a fascinating fruit. Carobs you can eat the inside and the outside. There's a Talmud that tells us about a sage called Choni HaMa'agel. Choni, the story tells us about this incredible sage called Choni. Tells us that Choni one day was walking around and he came across a man who was planting a carob tree. And he said to him, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm planting a carob tree." So he said, "Wow, how long will it take till the carob tree actually begins to bear fruit?" So this man answered by saying it will take 70 years, 70. Now, I did a bit of fact checking on this, and it seems that modern carob trees take 7 years, not 70. So it could well be that back then in Sfat, in the Galilee, 2,000 years ago, perhaps there was a different somewhat different type of tree that took 70 years, that particular species, it can happen. And now I've been to Kew Gardens, and they're all different types of species of things that take longer or shorter amounts of time to actually bear fruit. So the Choni Amagal said to him the following question. He said, why are you planting it then? You're never going to get a chance to eat from it. And the man famously answered back by saying, I won't eat from it, but my children and grandchildren will eat from it. Hence, we learn from this such an important lesson about a responsibility to leave a world for people after us. You know, climate change didn't start with Greta Thunberg. You know, there's an idea that we have to really be understanding that we have a very important impetus on leaving a world for the people that are going to be living after us, making sure there's a healthy world, a good world, planting trees for those after us as well. And this is a very fundamental lesson, but I'm going to focus on something else. And it's the following. I think it's a message of tremendous hope. Many years ago, I was merited to go to the Tish of the Savarana Rebbe, who my father also remembers going to see. The Savarana Rebbe, he went to his Tu B'Shvat Tish. It was a Rebbe in Yerushalayim. And I'll never forget, unto this very day, the Rebbe, at this stage in the Tish, picked up the carob. It looks a bit like a runner bean, like a brown runner bean, a brown dried runner bean. And he took the carob and he snapped it. I still hear that snap 10 years later. And he said to us, referring back to the Talmud and to Choni Amagal, and he said to us, sometimes it can take 70 years to see fruit. Sometimes a person in life can spend 70 years waiting to see the fruits of their actions. Sometimes it can take an entire lifetime till finally you see things coming to fruition. And I thought that was an amazing, amazing message for all of us. You know, we are a very impatient generation, but we want success now. We want to see the fruits of our labors. We want the results immediately. You took a look at any football manager. There was one sacked yesterday. If you don't get the results right now, you're out and you're healed. You are out. As long as you don't bring the results this minute, forget it. So we have to internalize this message that sometimes it can take 70 years and we have to be patient and hold on. And this is the message of fruit as well. Nowadays, you go to Tesco's and you buy your fruit. Back in the day, it could be Sainsbury's as well. Sorry, I apologize. I can get sued. Asda, any supermarket or even grocery store, or Amazon Extra, Morrison's. But back in the day, when you wanted fruit, you had to plant it in the ground and you had to wait, and you had to wait and see what would happen. You had the sunshine and the rain. Was it a good season, a bad season? How would it turn out? We don't have that anymore. We're very disconnected from the land. But this is a beautiful message of the carob tree in this stage where we're in right now, the stage of Bria, to focus on that, to think about, to meditate on it, about patience, about being patient, about taking our time. So I'm saying l'chaim to every single one of us. We should be blessed with patience. We should be blessed to always feel patient and never to give up hope. Whatever happens, when you don't see the fruits of your labors coming through, you should always stay and remain patient. So l'chaim to that, l'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Beautiful. Ezi yofi, l'chaim, l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Oh, beautiful. You know, I was thinking about that. The final level is going to be now. And looking at the clock, I know we're a bit late. So let's go now to the final level, which is the level of Atzilus. The divine essence is the strongest. And that's why with your wine now, it's almost entirely red. Red wine is the idea of the completion of the process, right? The redness of the wine is the color. It's the coming together of every part of existence in this level of Atzilus. Now, really, the fruit that one would eat at this stage is actually an etrog. The etrog is considered to be like the queen of fruits. It's like the fruit that sits at the very top. And in Israel, it's very easy to get hold of like candied etrog. Eleanor is going to show us what she's got. Thank you, Eleanor. Please, you've kept it. Brilliant. I've got Anna as well. Some people have got their etrog in there. Now, it's a time we say in Tu B'Shvat is a good time to pray for your etrog, okay? So right now, give yourself a tefillah. You should pray now that the etrog you will have this sukkah will be a lovely etrog. That's a beautiful etrog, Eleanor. Well done. Beautiful. Okay, so everyone, you should daven now that the etrog that you have, please God, is being formed somewhere on a tree, somewhere in the world, possibly in Morocco or Israel or in Greece or Italy. I don't know where your etrog is, but you should daven now. You should have a good etrog. And normally at this stage in the game, we would eat etrog. It was very hard for me to get hold of etrogim and candied etrog. So I thought, what can I have instead as the fruit of this final level?
Some kosher kingdom.
I know I just didn't get a chance. I'm so sorry. I didn't get a chance.
No, I know.
I'm sorry. Okay, but ultimately I decided to go instead with the pomegranate. And who knows why I went with the pomegranate? So someone want to tell me why I decided that one of the Shiva Saminim, one of the 7 species of fruits of Israel, why instead did I choose this as like my queen of fruits tonight? Why did I choose that this be the one which was the last fruit?
Because they say there's 613 things inside of the
David Webb saves the day as usual, right? The understanding is they talk about how each pomegranate is stuffed full of seeds, and there's some people say 613 seeds in every pomegranate. I've never counted them all, so I can't verify yay or nay. But one thing's for sure, a pomegranate is stuffed full of seeds. The Gemara tells us that just as the pomegranate is stuffed full of seeds, so too we, the Jewish people, are stuffed full of good deeds. We're stuffed full of goodness. And what I love about the pomegranate is that each one of these seeds is this kind of little mini entity on its own that you can take. And I love the idea of the pomegranate being such a lovely smell and taste, but also something which can be scattered. You know, you can take a pomegranate seed, you can scatter it around. I love the idea that we should have good deeds and we should be full with good deeds, but at the same time, we should scatter them around to everyone, looking out who we can share those good deeds with, who we can share those good feelings with, who we can take a little seed, a little pomegranate seed, but it's not very much, but it can mean the world to somebody when we reach out to them, we show them love, we pick up the phone, and we can share those good deeds with each other. The pomegranate is got a little crown on it when it grows on the tree. It's the queen, one of the queen of fruits as far as I'm concerned. And I think that this, it's so important to know that what it means to be a Jew is to look out, not just to ourselves, but like the tree has so many branches and so many opportunities to give of its fruit, so too we have to look for ourselves of opportunities to give out to those around us, those who are in need. And there's a famous story about Rav Shneur Zalman of Liadi, who was the first Lubavitcher Rebbe. And one night he heard his grandson crying. His grandson was crying, so he went downstairs. And he found that his son was so intent on studying his Torah, he was so involved in studying Torah, that he failed to hear the cry of his own son. So the grandfather, this was Rav Shneur Zalman, he went into the child's bedroom, and he gently rocked the baby until the baby came back to them, went to sleep again. And then he went to his son and said to him, "My child, I don't know what you're studying, but it can't be the word of God if it makes you deaf to the cries of a baby." And I think this is such a beautiful idea that we're going to learn, we've got to study, but we've got to take these little pomegranate seeds and spread them around wherever we go, looking out to other people and to give of our sweetness always to others, thinking of ways to be able to pray for each other, to give to each other at all times. Trees do that. A good friend of mine went to a redwood forest in California, and the park ranger there explained to him and told him that these redwoods, they've picked up that they have a subterranean messaging system, that the trees talk to each other underground through their roots. They communicate to each other, all the different trees. Right, and so too we somehow we're able to subterraneously communicate our good feelings and our love for each other. And so as we come now towards an end of this incredible Tu B'Shvat Seder with the red wine, we've got like a whole table full of fruits that I hope you're enjoying as I'm talking. The idea is you're eating as I'm going. Is that I'm going to finish with something very, very special. There's a lovely story that you've got. It's the last page of the pull-out. It's on the back of your pull-out. And if it's okay with you all, I'd like to ask none other than Sarah Jones if she'll read for us that last lovely story from the Talmud in Tainus. As you eat, please keep eating and follow along as you read from that last page in Tainus. Go for it, Sarah.
A man was traveling through the desert, hungry, thirsty, and tired, when he came upon a tree bearing luscious fruits and affording plenty of shade, underneath which ran a spring of water. He ate of the fruit, drank of the water, and rested beneath the shade. When he was about to leave, he turned to the tree and said, "Tree, O tree, with what should I bless you? Should I bless you that your fruit be sweet? Your fruit is already sweet. Should I bless you that your shade be plentiful? Your shade is plentiful. That a spring of water should run beneath you, a spring of water runs beneath you. There is one thing with which I can bless you. May it be God's will that all the trees planted from your seeds should be like you.
Beautiful, Sarah. Thank you so much. Such a beautiful Gemara here. Man sees a tree and wants to give it a bracha and sees it's already got so much. You know, it's already got the water. It's already got beautiful fruits that are sweet. But he doesn't just stop there. He keeps looking to see, well, what is it you do need? What is it can I give you? And finally, he gives it the bracha of, may you have the other trees that come from you, your offspring, so to speak, should be just like you as well. Tu B'Shvat is an amazing time for tefillah. It's an amazing time for prayer. It's an amazing time for us to reach out. Every day is an amazing time for prayer, but all these days, these beautiful holidays the Jewish people have, are auspicious times for tefillah. And so I thought maybe we could end this Tu B'Shvat Tishra. I hope you've all been eating and drinking. I don't know about you, but there's a massive mess here on the table in front of me here in my orchard. I thought this could be a really beautiful way to kind of finish the Seder with my l'chaim here. First, I'll say a big l'chaim to every single one of you. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. But I thought this could be a really beautiful way to finish the Seder. Is that there's 42 of us here on this call right now, on this Zoom call. And I thought it'd be really nice if we give each other blessings. We give each other a bracha right now. We've been blessing the fruits. We've been kind of saying how the fruits, we connect them back to our Creator. And how lovely would it be now is just the last part of this Tish. If everyone can put their cameras on, if you haven't put them on to now, if you don't want to put your camera on, don't worry. I'm not going to be upset about it. If you can put your camera on just for a little bit now, okay, if you can, even those who've been a little bit like without cameras, without the cameras, put the camera right now. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to play a beautiful nigun. I want everyone first will say another l'chaim to each other. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. L'chaim is always Jews. We say people in the world out there, they drink away from life. Everyone's become alcoholics over the past year. We're drinking to escape life. When we say l'chaim, we drink to life, not away from life. We drink to life. To life, l'chaim, right? We drink to engage in life and to engage with each other. So l'chaim, 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 l'chaim.
L'chaim.
We're singing a good now. What I like is every single one of you to go through every single one on this call now, silently with your videos off. And I want you to try and give every single person on this call a bracha. You don't have to say it with your lips. It's inside. Each person here, try and send them a blessing that they should have something. Maybe you can think for them. Sending each person here brachot. Go through one at a time and try and kind of feel, it's very hard, but not in the room together, but let's try our hardest to send each other blessings, brachot. Maybe it's a blessing for wealth, for success. Maybe it's a blessing for inner peace. Maybe it's a blessing that someone should find a shidduch, should find their marriage partner. Maybe it's a bracha. People should have a refuah shlema, a bracha of health. Whatever it is, just go around now together. And as I've seen this nigun, just feel those blessings for each one at a time. And let's finish this Tu B'Shvat Seder with blessings for each other. Here we go. Na na na. Here we go. Let's do this. Never been done before in England. Na na na. Not the song has. This hasn't been done before. Here we go. Na 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 na. Da 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 na 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 na. Da 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 na na na.
David,
da da.
you're the best.
Da 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 na na na. Da 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 da. Da 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 no no. Da 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 da.
Emily.
I know.
Emily, we give you a bracha.
say a big thank you to every single one of you, to Sienna, and whoever's sitting next to Sienna, Stephen, to Joanna, to Hillel Solomon, I miss you so much, Hill, to Emily, and to Sam, to Nigel, and of course Ruth, to Mum and to Dad, to iPhone 07800, to Britt Burstein, to David, to Tiran, the Webster, to Ollie, and I'm sure Emily's back there somewhere as well, to Florence, to Anne, to Rosie, of course, the famous Charleses of Elstree, to Ari Sheldon, who's really Mr. Sheldon, I'm sure, give us a wave, to Anna, to Eleanor, to Orion and Simon, to Noemi, David, Sarah, to Ilana, to Andrew, to Uriel, to Adam, to Sophie, to Miron, dude, man, to Steve-O, mate, to Gabrielle.
Sending love from Morocco.
Dude, man, you're the man, dude. To Didi, Achi, and Peterborough. To Richard, and I'm not sure who's with Richard, but I'm sure you're not called Richard. Is it Anael? I'm not, Anael or somewhere else. Richard, hi. Anael and Richard, hi. To Sharon, to Justin, to Daria, to Jonathan, Julia Kagdullah, Anael, you're on two things I see. To the Fraser, to Delphine, Noemi, to James, and to, of course, Georgia, Lizanne, and to Gemma. I just want to wish you all a Tu B'Shvat Sameach. We should all be blessed to be like trees, to be able to grow always, never to stop. Each day to take in the nourishment we need in order to grow, to develop, to be even better than we were yesterday. It's about progress. Life's about progress. It's not about perfection. Just so we can remember that life is about progress, but not about perfection. Just remember that and you'll be okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an amazing Tu B'Shvat Seder. I hope you're all enjoying your food. Keep you eating your fruits. It's been amazing. And wish you a Tu B'Shvat Sameach. Keep eating everything, having more l'chaims. I'm staying here for as long as needs be to drink l'chaims. We can all take off our mutes and saying l'chaim. Happy Tu B'Shvat, everyone. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim.
L'chaim, 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 l'chaim,
l'chaim.
l'chaim.
Thank you. Uriel,
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Dov.
See, we did it. Even in Zoom, even on Zoom, we managed something, right? People said they'll never be able to do it on Zoom. Julia, we did it on Zoom, right?
Yes, thank you so much. It was amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rabbi Dov.
Thank you.
Daria, are you there? Daria,
thank you.
Daria, who's there with your family? Who's there with you?
Dog Bear.
Friends.
Dog Bear, that was so beautiful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, everyone. Much
amazing. Thank you very much.
We went international tonight. Very good. L'chaim, Gav. So good to see you, bro.
You know that Rabbi Cowan drove all the way to South London to give me my fruits and things.
How could I not? A big shout out to Sarah Jones for driving around London to deliver today. Thank you, Sarah. Eleanor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Have you been to our class before? I'm not sure if you've been before. Where do you live in London?
Bournemouth.
Okay,
yeah. Thank you for delivering my box.
It's our pleasure.
Hi, neighbor.
Hello.
Well, this is good. Everybody needs good neighbors.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So nice to have you. Beautiful. Stephen and Joanna, thank you for joining us from Somerset.
My mother lives in Elstree near Boringwood, but we live in Somerset, as you say.
Yeah, that's great.
And at 6 o'clock this evening, we got a package we didn't expect to get with all of your beautiful gifts and fruits and nuts and everything. So we've incorporated them into our table tonight. And that was very beautiful. Thank you so much.
My mother lives in Somerset. So my mother lives in Somerset.
What's that? Oh, yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, every single one. Andrew, so good to have you, Andrew, on the show. And Ilana as well. Thank you, Ilana, for joining us.
Yeah. Hello.
Ilana, you must really connect to this festival, right?
Yeah, very much.
Ilana being Ilana, right? Ilan, it's a tree, Ilan. And the Sheldons, thank you for joining us, Sheldons, as well. We really appreciate having you as well, the Sheldons. Ed against me. Mom and Dad, thank you for joining us, Mom and Dad.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thank you. They are Mom and Dad.
Thank you. Wish you at the Steeple.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. When it opens.
And of course, Plymouth's finest, Adam Maloof, joining us live. Nigel and Ruth, thank you as well for joining us. It's been great. L'chaim, l'chaim. Yeah.
L'chaim, and thank you, Rob Dov.
Thank you, Emily, for inviting us, and Samuel.
Had a great time. Thank you, Anna to Lizanne as well. Every single one of you, this has been recorded. You know, you can watch it again. Miss Elliott, how was the music? Obviously, back from year 7. I've improved. Not bad, not bad. I can do better, I know. Oh, fantastic. Okay, listen, guys, thank you so much. Happy to be Shvat, every single one of you. Lots of love to you all, and enjoy the fruits. We're going to say an after bracha. We will say an after bracha now, just for the. I didn't have enough of the David, did you have enough for the mezonot? Can you make a bracha? Yeah. David Webb will say the after bracha now. Say amen for the after blessings for the various wine and for the cake.
ועל הגפן ועל פי הגפן, ועל העץ ועל פי העץ, ואל תן ותעשה ועל העץ חמדה טובה וחברה, שעשית וינקרת על אבותינו לאכול מפי לספור מטובה, ורחם אדוני עלינו ועלינו ועל יצלמך ועל ירושלים ערך ועל הר ציון מצחק ודך, ועל מזבחך ועל הלקלך ובני ירושלים וקודש בנייה וימינו, ועלינו לתוכה ושמחנו בבניינה ונברכך עליה בקדושה ובטהרה. כי אתה טוב ומיטיב לכל ונודי לך אדוני אלוהינו על הארץ ועל המחיה ועל הכלכלה ועל פי הגפן ועל העץ, ברוך אתה אדוני על הארץ ועל המחיה ועל הכלכלה ועל פי הגפן ועל פי העץ.
Amen.
Amen.
Everyone, thank you so much. It's been amazing. Happy to be Shvat. Hello, lovely to see you. We'll be in touch, bro.
Thank you again, Dov.
Anna, thank
you.
Anna.
Thank you.
Florence. Merci beaucoup, Florence.
We've still got these.
You can't see it.
Merci beaucoup. Bye.
Barley. The barley's for your cholent on Shabbos. Put the barley in the cholent on Shabbos.
Oh.
Sophie, put it in the chat.
Bye, everyone. Merci, au revoir. Merci, au revoir. Je vais aller.
Bye.
Bye. Toda. Bye,
Toda
everyone.